Leaders of advanced economies are gearing up for the annual G7 meeting in Italy. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is amongst the attendees who will depart for Italy to participate in the 50th G7 summit. Prime Minister Modi will attend the summit as an outreach country, now focusing on significant global issues impacting both the global south and the world at large. This will be Indian Prime Minister's first overseas trip after assuming office for a third consecutive term. During the three-day event, scores of bilateral meetings are also expected to happen on the sidelines. Indian Prime Minister will hold bilateral talks with his Italian counterpart, Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, marking their second meeting after Meloni's visit to India back in March last year. US President Joe Biden and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi are also poised for a potential meeting during the G7 summit, as revealed by America's National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan. While Modi's presence at the summit awaits formal confirmation from India, Sullivan expressed optimism about the leaders' chance to engage. He also noted that the dynamic scheduling of the summit leaves the specifics of their encounter uncertain. In a year marked by wars in Europe and West Asia, US President and his Ukrainian counterpart, Volodymyr Zelensky, are also expected to meet today. According to the White House, the two leaders will sign a bilateral security deal at the summit, focused on backing Kyiv's fight against Russia's invasion. Moreover, reportedly G7 leaders have reached a consensus to allocate $50 billion to support the war-torn Ukraine by the end of the current year. The funds are said to be sourced from Russian assets that have been frozen. With the summit scheduled to commence today, the G7 leaders from the United States, Japan, Canada, Germany, France, Italy and Britain are going to attend it. The European Union, which participates in all discussions, is represented by the presidents of both the European Council and the European Commission. The host country also traditionally invites outside guests to join some of the sessions. Italy has thrown open the doors, and this year it will welcome Pope Francis, the King of Jordan, as well as the leaders of Ukraine, India, Brazil, Turkey, the United Arab Emirates, among others. In addition, the Secretary General of the United Nations and heads of the World Bank, the IMF, the African Development Bank, and the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development will also be present. While Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince, who was also invited by the Italian Prime Minister, has decided to skip the summit. He expressed his regret and apologized for not being able to attend it due to his commitments related to overseeing the operation of the annual pilgrimage of Hajj, which will begin on June 14th. And reporting for WION from Bari in Italy, for more details on the G7 meet is Valentina Di Donato. Good to have you with us on the broadcast, Valentina. How is the mood on the ground and who all have arrived yet? Russia apparently at the center of discussions?
Hello, good to be with you from Bari. Yes, world leaders are arriving now as we speak. Macron from France, Biden is yet to enter. And it is an important moment, this G7, for many reasons. Leaders are racing at this moment to make a deal using the profits from frozen Russian sovereign assets. And on the heels of the EU election, where the right was able to gain so much momentum, the EU operating in unison is more important than ever.
We witnessed the way there is a rise of right in the EU elections. Do you think this will impact the ongoing conversation on Russia?
Well, that's what a lot of people think. And the reality is that the EU today will show its power. Will they operate together? There is this potential agreement on a scheme for the G7 members to lend as much as these $50 billion to Ukraine, backed by the future proceeds from Russian assets. They expect this is the expected main conversation in the meetings in Puglia in the next. But negotiations over how this deal will be shaped is still taking form. That's the question. Leaders are trying to figure out the design of it, who is going to pay how much, and at what level.
Thank you, Valentina, for joining us on the broadcast with those details. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.